Bakhmut, a name unknown to many before 2022, became a symbol of resistance, brutality, and sacrifice. Located in the Donetsk Oblast of eastern Ukraine, this once quiet city became the bloodiest battlefield in the ongoing Ukraine-Russia war. A place where both armies poured in thousands of troops, heavy weaponry, and unrelenting fury for control of a city that seemed, at first glance, to offer little strategic value. But for both sides, Bakhmut became everything. While some military analysts questioned the obsession over Bakhmut, both Ukraine and Russia knew it held more than tactical ground. It was about morale, messaging, and momentum. Bakhmut lies on critical supply routes connecting eastern Ukraine. Capturing it would allow Russia to press deeper into the Donbass, while Ukraine knew holding it would stall that very advance. While maps showed Bakhmut as just another point in Donetsk, its value went beyond terrain. For Russia, taking Bakhmut meant showcasing momentum after repeated failures elsewhere. It was a propaganda centerpiece, a city they could point to and say, "We are advancing." For Ukraine, defending Bakhmut symbolized resistance. President Zelensky himself visited the front lines, calling it the fortress of our morale. Holding it sent a message. Ukraine would not retreat, no matter the cost. In war, perception is power, and Bakhmut became the beating heart of that message. By mid-2022, the infamous Wagner Group, a private military company tied to the Kremlin, took over operations in Bakhmut. Known for their brutality and lack of restraint, Wagner forces initiated wave after wave of infantry attacks, often using convicts recruited from Russian prisons. It was attrition warfare, pure and raw. Against the onslaught, Ukraine responded with elite units, air assault brigades, territorial defense forces, and local fighters. Urban warfare became the norm, fighting block by block, building by building. The defenders used every inch of the city to bleed the enemy dry. Ukraine's defense of Bakhmut wasn't just strategy. It was grit, improvisation, and sacrifice. Soldiers of the 93rd Mechanized Brigade, known as Kholodny Yar, dug in deep, refusing to abandon the flanks even as ammunition ran low. The 3rd Assault Brigade, composed partly of volunteers and veterans, repeatedly launched counterattacks to recover lost streets. Ukrainian engineers built underground networks connecting buildings to evade drones and mortar fire. Many defenders rotated just days after suffering injuries, unwilling to leave their posts. In one documented case, a wounded commander continued coordinating artillery strikes with a tourniquet on his leg. These were not just soldiers, they were shields for a nation. By early 2023, Bakhmut had turned into a ghost town. Once bustling streets became craters, homes turned to rubble. The very earth seemed cursed. Yet both armies fought on, their forces grinding down in an endless loop of attack and counterattack. Satellite imagery showed devastation comparable only to World War II's worst urban battles. In May 2023, Wagner claimed full control of Bakhmut, but their victory came at a devastating cost. Thousands of fighters had perished. Ukrainian defenders had bled the enemy dry, using Bakhmut as a trap, weakening Russia's offensive capacity. Even in retreat, Ukraine managed tactical withdrawals while preparing for counteroffensives elsewhere. In the final weeks, Bakhmut turned into a nightmare of close-quarters combat. With the city reduced to rubble, firefights took place at ranges of just meters. Stairwells, basements, and burned-out factories became death traps. Drones buzzed constantly overhead, dropping grenades through skylights. Every building was fought over, lost, and retaken, sometimes in the same day. Artillery shaped the battle like a sculptor with dynamite. On some days, over 1,000 shells rained down on the city. Both sides relied heavily on firepower, Grad rocket systems, howitzers, thermobaric weapons. Trees were flattened, streets vanished. Shell shock became as common as shrapnel wounds. The skyline of Bakhmut was permanently rewritten by constant barrages. Was Bakhmut worth it? For Russia, a symbolic victory with enormous casualties. For Ukraine, a delay that saved time for training and Western weapon deliveries. For the world, a chilling reminder of how modern war can turn cities to cemeteries. Bakhmut became more than just a city. It became a story etched in blood, brick, and sacrifice. The battle for Bakhmut is over, but its shadow lingers. As Ukraine plans new counteroffensives and Russia regroups, the name Bakhmut will remain etched in history, a monument to human endurance, pain, and the complex calculus of modern warfare. This was not just a battle for land, it was a battle for meaning.